So here we go. We said 5 o'clock we will be back with the story. Who's the front runner for captain? What is happening? Is it a done deal for Shubman Gill? Is KL Rahul still in the fray? Is Rishabh Pant still in the fray? Why would Rishabh Pant not be given the captaincy ahead of Shubman Gill? Is his IPL form, which has been pretty shocking, standing in the way? Is that something the selectors are concerned about? That he will be in a negative mind space at the moment? And is that impacting Rishabh Pant's chances going forward? So, plenty of questions as far as Indian cricket, red ball cricket, post Rohit Sharma. What's also going to happen in terms of team selection? Will they opt for Kuldeep Yadav? Michael Clark, for example, had said to us, even Shomik Chakraborty in one of the broadcasts had said, Kuldeep Yadav could be an X factor in England. Is he the right man for the job now? Has Kuldeep Yadav done enough, or will the selectors not look at Kuldeep Yadav going forward? What about the fast bowlers? Will Shardul Thakur be a left field selection, or will the selectors not want to turn the clock back? So, plenty of questions. Joining me, Bharat Ramraj, Gargi Raut, and Shomik Chakraborty. I will start with you, Gargi. You've just done a copy on Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah was clearly the front runner in Australia. Had it been fit, this captaincy debate is a non-starter. It would have been Jasprit Bumrah. Tell us, why would it not be Jasprit Bumrah in England?
I mean, when you look at Jasprit Bumrah and the sources, what the sources are telling us at the moment, that it has nothing to do with the fact that he's not captaincy material or that he does not possess the ability to lead India in England. It's just the fact that with the way that the England series is scheduled, the maximum number of games that Jasprit Bumrah can play is three, because the gap between game number 2 and 3 and 4 is too little for him to successfully manage his workload, recover, and someone who's coming off of a serious back injury, it is going to be very crucial that Jasprit Bumrah's body recovers in time for him to get back to 100% fitness, and that is very, very unlikely to happen between games 2 and 3 and 3 and 4. So that is the only reason why Jasprit Bumrah will not be considered. What the selectors are saying at this point is that if he had played at least a maximum 4 matches, he would have been considered for the role. And they are looking towards the future. One second, there's an echo. They are looking towards the future, and they want solidity in this team going forward, which is one of the reasons why Virat Kohli is not being considered, because they want a captain that can stick around for the entirety of the WTC cycle. And when we talk about the captaincy race, obviously Shubman Gill is one of the front runners.
Shomik, that's a very fair argument, and the story that Jasprit Bumrah, in fact, that the gap between Test matches second and third, exactly 3 days. Seventh is when the Birmingham Test, including rain day, by the way, ends, and so travel day is expected either on the 7th or the 8th, and London starts at Lords on the 10th. They're actually talking about 2 days or 2.5 days to recover. I understand the point that Gargi just made. 8 days, 9 days between Birmingham and Leeds. Anyone can manage that. But that's where Jasprit Bumrah kind of stumbles. And again, fourth and fifth test matches, as she said, is 3 days, Shomik Chakraborty. Is that a problem according to you? And that's sort of stopping Bumrah. And on the other one, I mean, I will go to Bharat and Shubhayan on this as well. Why Shubman Gill? Why not Rishabh Pant? Rishabh Pant has been an excellent test match player for India, shocking IPL form. But why should IPL form be considered while you're picking a test match captain? Shomik Chakraborty.
To start with Jasprit Bumrah, see, when I did the story about a month back, I was told that he cannot play for more than 2 test matches. And Shane Bond came on record saying that another injury in the same spot would mean the end of his career, because you cannot afford Bumrah to run through that rigors for 3 test matches in a row. Um, that is, after India came back from Australia, there was a review meeting, and there it was decided that for the next test cycle, Bumrah would be the captain. Uh, at that point of time, nobody knew the extent of Bumrah's back injury. Everyone thought that it was just back spasm that saw him pull himself out of the Australia Sydney Test midway into the first innings, and that was that. But once the extent of the injury uh, was known, then it was clear that if a player can't play all 5 test matches, especially away from home, irrespective of whether it is a home series or away, he cannot be the captain. Simple. Jasprit Bumrah will be a leader without being a captain. So that is number one. That's the Bumrah question. Number two, as regards Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill, the selectors, he is not a part of the T20 side yet, but he has age on his side, and going ahead, he might be part of the T20 side. But as at least for that Test cricket, and he is being considered as Rohit's successor in 50 over format also. This is why he has been elevated to ODI vice captaincy. Shubman Gill has been their preferred choice. Sometimes what happens, you pick a player, because if you go back to the turn of the century, then India had senior cricketers in uh, during that period of turmoil when Sachin Tendulkar relinquished captaincy after Azhar. Then India had senior cricketers in Anil Kumble. Srinath was never considered to be a captain, but Anil Kumble was there. But still, Saurabh Ganguly was given captaincy. So Rohit Sharma himself has spoken about Shubman's captaincy skills in glowing terms, his leadership skills in glowing terms during a press conference in the Champions Trophy. And there is the selectors feel he is the Rishabh Pant is a very valid question, but I don't know what is the reason. I don't want to get into any controversy, but what I know that Rishabh Pant will not be given the captaincy or even the vice captaincy. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, at least on the public platform, I cannot reveal the details.
Bharat, why not Pant? Why not Rahul? What is the problem with KL Rahul? Why not Rishabh Pant? Why not KL Rahul? Why Shubman Gill? I understand the Shubman Gill arguments, but when I say Sena countries no runs 2021 to 2025, 150 that is in 21, not major runs. I understand potential, and I also understand where the selectors are coming from. But then why not some of the others? Why only Shubman Gill as the front runner at this point in time? Is it unfair on someone like a KL Rahul or a Rishabh Pant? Bharat.
Not sure. Maybe looking at it from outside, it always feels like KL Rahul is a bit of a reluctant captain. That is how it feels like. Maybe he himself is not sure of taking it. That could be one of the reasons. As far as Rishabh Pant is concerned, I think there's still a question mark over his fitness. I do believe there's a question mark over his fitness. It's not just about his poor showing in the IPL. It feels like it doesn't play the kind of shots that you used to see in front of the wicket before that tragic accident. So that could be a question mark held against him. And he's also wicket keeper. So you're thinking of someone who has to do the wicket keeping duties for 90 overs in a day. He has to be the captain as well, look around to see what are the field placements, and then obviously go out to do batting. So batting side of things. So it's not on his plate. Maybe that is one of the reasons why the selectors are not looking at Rishabh Pant here. As far as KL Rahul is concerned, I always felt that he's a reluctant captain, even while playing for Karnataka. He doesn't come across as someone who wants it, and you could see it with Delhi Capitals as well. They could have made him the skipper, but from the couple of press conferences or couple of comments that he made, it was clear that he wanted to concentrate only on his batting at present. So that might be the reason with KL Rahul.
Shubman?
I think with Rishabh Pant, it's all about mentality and body language. Whenever Rishabh has not scored runs in Test cricket, he has done reasonably well, and averaging 45 is a decent stat to have for someone who bats at number six, number seven in Test cricket, number six predominantly. But if you look at Rishabh Pant's body language, whenever he does not score runs or goes through a lean patch before his accident, after his accident, uh, it shows, it clearly shows in his expression and body language. Currently in the IPL, if you see his body language in the last 3-4 matches, he has been his smile has faded off. His body language, his shoulders are down. His the way he's communicating with his bowlers, it seems a bit irritated and frustrated. So I think that could be one of the reasons when he personally goes through a lean run it shows in his body language, and that could trickle down to other players in the teams as well, within the team as well, India team as well. So I think that could be one of the reasons he's not part of your ODIs and T20s side in a regular fashion. His form in white ball cricket has been questionable. Yes, Shubman's run in Sena countries has also not come in that consistent fashion. But in regards to grooming a captain, I think Shubman has always been in the BCCI radar since his under 19 days. His leadership quality, when you look at this Gujarat Titans squad, there are many senior players. Mohammad Siraj is one. Prasidh Krishna, who has played so much of domestic cricket and is part of the India squad as well. He has also spoken glowingly about Shubman Gill, Rashid Khan. These are international, these are very experienced guys in international circuit, and they have also glowingly spoken about Shubman Gill's leadership, and within the India circuit as well. He has gelled well with all his counterparts within the team, outside the team. He knows his even within the GT team management. If you ask to the coaches and everyone, they will say Shubman is tactically very sound. He has that instinctive nature as well within the captaincy. But Rishabh Pant, I think his personal form, the way it affects his own confidence and body language, I think that could be one of the reasons that the Indian team management or the selectors are not looking at him as one of the leaders or the captains, officially on paper captains in the team. But I'm pretty sure he will be one of the leaders whenever the team steps out through the field.
At a
If
point
I
to it,
think,
small point,
yeah,
small
yeah.
point on Rishabh Pant. Even in the recent IPL games, I think in one of the games he was shouting or screaming at the players. That was in the last over when there was a misfield.
Avesh
This
Khan, Shardul Thakur, Akash Deep, Digvesh Rathi, Ravi Bishnoi all have been victims of Rishabh Pant's shouting at
Yes,
some point. This I
and in another of those games, it didn't use Digvesh Rathi's final over when, or Bishnoi's final over, and they should have used it. He went and used the seamer instead of him when it was turning. The ball was really turning in that particular game. So tactical blunders as well as made alongside the kind of screaming or shouting at the players.
If I take all these points, I mean, and both Bharat and Shubhan and Shomi, all three of them rather, making important points. But let's take it this way. Yes, Rishabh Pant has been tactically found out in a couple of games. I take the Ravi Bishnoi point because that's when Mahendra Singh Dhoni had asked Shivam Dubey that if you are out there, he will not go to Bishnoi. He'll not go to a leg spinner. He might just go to a faster bowler. And he did that. He fell into that trap. Two, if I say Rishabh Pant has been aggressive, so has Shubman Gill. Shubman Gill in this IPL has been unnaturally aggressive, fighting with the umpire, showing dissent, doing a lot of things. All that is there, but I still take that Shubman Gill is universally accepted, and from the under 19 days, since the time India won the under 19, he has been built as the next big thing in Indian cricket. That's also a fact. But all this is fine. Ultimately, it's about performance. This guy hasn't performed. Shubman Gill in Sena countries has not performed. So where is this confidence coming from? That all of a sudden you make him captain, he will go and deliver in England. Where is that coming from? Because in Australia, if you see the way you're talking about temperament, you're talking about stuff. Think of Sydney, 1 over before lunch, dances down the track to Nathan Lyon, gives it away. Multiple times it has happened with Shubman Gill as well. So where is this? And that is why I think this England tour will be one of the most difficult tours to cover and for Indian cricket, because if it starts to go downhill for Gill as a batter, it will start to go downhill for Gill as a leader. Are you concerned?
100%. I think all of us are concerned when we talk about, or when we, take the
Not all.
larger.
He's not.
He's not. Okay.
Okay.
Not all.
Many of us are concerned when you take the larger picture into consideration about runs or, not performing with the bat. And that has been the concern with, let's take a Rohit Sharma, for example. I don't think many of us had any complaints when it came to the captaincy side. He was a very, very sound captain. But at the same time, when you're not backing that up with your runs, when you're not leading from example, I think that becomes one of the biggest problems as a leader. You start losing, let's say, a say in the dressing room if you're not backing it up with runs. And that is, when I look ahead into the future, and if this is something that is not, if Shubman Gill does not score runs in Sena countries, I see that happening, and that is, one of the biggest concerns. But also at the same time, when you look at his entire career career trajectory, you see that Shubman Gill has always been someone who's been groomed for captaincy. If you go ahead and talk to players, he's someone who's very well respected as a leader in the dressing room. The younger guys love him, be it domestic cricket, be it IPL, be it India, any of the India games that he has temporarily stepped in for as well. He's always been someone that has been looked at as the next big superstar and as the next all format captain.
I'm interested in knowing why Shubhan is not concerned. Where is this confidence coming from, Mr. Chakraborty? Tell me. I am seriously concerned. Where is this confidence coming from? Tell me.
See, two things, Boryada. Number one, Rishabh Pant is your match winner. He's a pure match winner. He's a game changer, and I think it's better to leave him that way only. Play your game freely. In Sydney, you saw two versions of Rishabh Pant. One who can take body blows, can fight it out, and number two who can just hammer a world class bowling attack on a difficult track. I think we should let Rishabh Pant. Yes, he genuinely deserves Test captaincy given the kind of impact he has had in India Test side. But let's leave Rishabh Pant and let him be a match winner without any added pressure. Is number one point. But when it comes to Shubman Gill, I think he's the kind of player who thrives with responsibility. Who thrives with responsibility. If you look at Gujarat Titans, KKR, he wanted captaincy, but he was released. Gujarat Titans, it came as a shock to Shubman also because he wanted to stay at KKR at that point in time as well. And he has said in a couple of interviews, I think with Ed Sheeran as well, he asked Ed Sheeran to ask Shah Rukh Khan why KKR released him. And he took that let down by KKR to Gujarat Titans. He was not the captain in his very first season. Hardik Pandya was the captain. But in the second season, he scored 900 runs, thrived with responsibility. Yes, GT did not win the IPL, but Shubman Gill's personal numbers were astonishing. 900 runs at a strike rate of 140, which was decent. Number two, this season, if you look at Shubman Gill, he knows that the middle order is shaky. Along with Sai Sudarshan and Josh Butler, he has taken that responsibility up the ante, scoring at a strike rate of 150. Yes, white ball, red ball is different format, but Shubman with this added responsibility that now I am the captain, I have to deliver, I have to fulfill my potential. I think that will help him score big runs in Test cricket, which he has missed. And we criticized Shubman Gill during the Australia series as well. No one is away. No one can run away from criticism if his bat or ball does not deliver. But Shubman Gill, I think, will thrive under leadership. There are two type of players. One who will bog down under the pressure of responsibility and leadership. Number two, who will thrive with that. I think Shubman Gill is the second kind of player.
That's a point of view. Shomik, you agree with that? Because all the positive stats, Shubman Gill has been a stellar performer in the IPL from 23, not just now. But it hasn't translated into red ball success. The counterpoint to Shubhan is, see in Australia, in Sydney, for example, Rohit Sharma wasn't playing. Shubman Gill had the responsibility of being a leader in that pack. Jasprit Bumrah outside. India was kind of still there in the series. Had you been able to draw that test match, win that one, you were still in with a chance. And Gill threw it away, not once. If I remember that series, there were 3 or 4 occasions when he threw the wicket away. Now, my point is, why do you have to be captain to be a leader? For example, Jasprit Bumrah or Virat Kohli at this point in time. How do you not take additional responsibility as a batter? I've not seen Shubman Gill perform since that Australia 93. And that is where my concern stems from. That I've got no problems with Gill, the white ball player. He's been brilliant in the IPL. He's been brilliant, in all of this. But when it comes to red ball and the way he gets out, he gets 4-5 beautiful shots in, and all of a sudden, one moment of lapse of concentration, and he's gone. And he's given it away. Either a bat pad, bowled, or a stupid shot, dances down the track, gives it away. Shomik, that is my kind of concern. Where do you stand on this?
You mentioned Virat Kohli, Boria. I think his career trajectory will also go. That's my personal opinion and prediction that with captaincy, I think he might go the Virat Kohli way, like he thrived with leadership. Yes, Shomikta.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think you nailed it when you said Shubman Gill has always been projected as the next big thing in Indian cricket. See, Rohit is now gone. Dhoni was gone long back. your only tennis link to superstardom at this moment in time is Virat Kohli. Once Virat Kohli is gone, Indian cricket has always thrived on a star culture. You need someone, you need a superstar whom you can whom you can project, you can sell. That is the commercial part of the story. That is the commercial part of the story. Coming to cricket, I'm a huge fan of Shubman. It's not only because he's young and he's fresh faced. It's for the fact the way he bats. I mean, more than the way he bats out there in the middle. I can sit and watch him batting at the nets for hours. This is how good he is. And sometimes, it is absolutely now. Yes, I agree with Shubhan to the I agree with Shubhan to the extent that even if, yes, he hasn't scored runs outside Asia um, as of now, he's still very, very young. He will learn, he will learn. A batsman basically matures when he enters the age of 27, 28. Not everyone is a prodigy like Sachin Tendulkar, for example. So a batsman usually matures when he enters that territory, 26, 27, 28. From 27 to 27 to 32 is called the peak years for a batsman. So Shubman is yet to reach that age, and he has plenty of time on his side. Shubman has enough time to develop his game outside Asia in difficult conditions. So even if he is a failure as a captain and as a batsman, I don't think that would be catastrophic because you have invested in someone. He needs time to get into the groove. Yes, you are absolutely right when you mentioned those crazy shots. Those are bonkers basically in Australia. But if you look at the upside of it, in Sydney on that pitch, when everyone struggled, he was playing those back foot cover drives. He's that talented with that kind of a range. Shubman Gill is your next captain. Even by the theory of elimination, you have to give him captaincy because you don't have anyone else. KL Rahul has been a very, very uninspiring leader, be it for Lucknow Super Giants or Indian team whenever he has led. He has been a very, very uninspiring leader. Number one, Bumrah cannot be given captaincy, otherwise we wouldn't be having this debate. In fact, Bumrah cannot be given captaincy. So who is your choice? You have to give it to Shubman.
So, Bharat, is it kind of a fallback that you don't have an option, so you got to go to Shubman because the rest of the others uninspiring, whatever poor fitness, etc. Rishabh Pant temperamental is what all of you guys are saying. Is that why you've got to go to Shubman because he's not delivered as a captain? So, based on what Shubhan said, okay, the assumption is he will come good. Shomik said he will come good at a certain point once he reaches that age. And yes, I take the Kohli point that when Kohli traveled to Australia in 2014, different player. After a point, you become a different player. So that point is well taken. But are you also concerned or not concerned? India in England, I am very concerned with Shubman Gill as leader or whoever as leader. This side, I don't see standing up to England in Leeds. I have serious issues about this Indian side being even competitive. Forget about winning, even competitive in England. Bharat Ramraj, where do you stand on this?
Yeah, just see the batting averages of the Indian batters, current Indian batters in Test cricket. That itself exemplifies the point because, barring Virat Kohli, who himself is going through a bad patch, there aren't many batters who average over 40, and Shubman Gill himself averages 33, 35. KL Rahul himself averages in that bracket, and Shubman Gill has a serious problem against a nip packer. He belongs to this modern style of batting. They don't release the back foot. If you don't release the back foot, then you would always have a problem against a nip packer because your front foot won't go towards the pitch of the ball. One of the IPL coaches, obviously it was a source. I saw it on another website. He also was talking about this back foot release. Modern day batters don't do that. Shubman Gill belongs to it, that particular tribe. That is why I think he has a problem against a nip packer. Unless he sorts it out, will continue to have an issue against the nip packer, whether it will be 3 years later, whether he will mature or whatever it is, he needs to solve this problem against the nip packer. And most of the English pace bowlers, if you look at how they bowl, they all have a front on action. So most likely they will move the ball back into the right hander. So that could accentuate the effect for someone like Shubman Gill. Yes, if you look at the current Indian lineup, it's pretty inexperienced. Hardly anyone averages over 40 in Test cricket. No one is very sure whether how many test matches Jasprit Bumrah will play. Yes, if he plays, he's someone who can be a one-man army, can get you 7, 8, 9 wickets or whatever. But if he doesn't play in a particular test match, India suddenly have inexperienced pace bowlers. Will Prasidh Krishna continue to bowl like what he's doing in the IPL? If he gets picked, will Akashdeep go and bowl fuller length that he keeps that he didn't do in Australia? Kept bowling back of length and beat the bat about 100 times. So India have a lot of issues. But having said that, I do believe Shubman Gill has good credentials as a captain. One thing I could see at Gujarat Titans was how he has led someone like Prasidh Krishna, because I'm taking this guy's name because if you ask any Karnataka faithful, any Karnataka cricket team's faithful, even if you go back to 2015 when he made his first class debut, people would say here is one cricketer who's temperamentally a little bit fragile, hitting for a couple of boundaries, and he kind of loses the plot. But under Shuman Gill's captaincy, you can see how well he has performed. So some credit has to go to the skipper because maybe he's calming him down after a couple of boundaries are hit off his bowling. So all these things point to the fact that Shubman Gill is a good leader, but definitely has a serious issue against the nitpacker. So that is something that he has to sort it out.
Okay. Moving on from Shubman Gill, let's kind of think of the team. I mean, when Bharat mentions this point about Jasprit Bumrah, in Australia, we struggled with the fourth seamer. Yes, there is a Mohammad Siraj, and the big elephant in the room is Mohammad Shami. From what you've seen of Mohammad Shami, and I think Shubhan made this point in one of our shows some time back, saying, Mohammad Shami coming back for the ODIs in February. He was not making a comeback in February. He was playing continuous white ball cricket for Bengal from November. And after that, he was making a comeback and still was struggling. In the Champions Trophy, not the Mohammad Shami of old. Now, in the IPL, not the Mohammad Shami of old. Do you pick Mohammad Shami purely on reputation? Or are you worried that, no, this is not the Mohammad Shami that can do the job in England? Why don't I start with Shomik and Prasidh Krishna? I definitely think will get picked. That is my personal assumption. But I'll come to you on Prasidh Krishna. Let's go to Shomik and start the pace bowling debate. Shomik, two questions. One, Mohammad Shami, and do you also pick someone like a Shardul Thakur who can give you batting at number 8? You cannot play Washington Sundar in Leeds. No chance. No chance. You had a Washington Sundar in Sydney, you suffered. You had a Washington Sundar in Melbourne, you suffered. You ought to have somebody who can give at least 10 to 12 overs. Nitish Reddy wasn't doing that with the ball. Batting, I take it. Would you have a Shardul Thakur? And what is your opinion about Mohammad Shami?
I think England could be one last dance for Mohammad Shami. I don't see him rolling back the years. But given that he didn't play in Australia, and it's sort of the I mean the feeling was India missed out on him big time. He would be given another. He would be given, although he is no longer the Shami of old, and he is in the twilight zone. It's absolutely clear that his career is in the twilight zone. But I think he will be given one more opportunity in England. He would be there, and in that Indian team setup, I would expect him to do better, much better than what he has been doing for his franchise, IPL franchise, because the Indian team environment, the Indian team support staff, Indian team setup, that that will help him. That will help him to, I think, to improve his game. That is number one. As far as my pace attack is concerned, Shardul Thakur, yes, obviously. Although I think in January, uh, Ajit Agarkar said we have uh, we have moved on from Shardul Thakur. Ajit Agarkar said that in public at a press conference. But I think there is always a scope to rethink. And Shardul, the way he has played the domestic season, first in the first half he was injured. After coming back, the way he contributed any day. I think Shardul should have been there in Australia also. They missed a trick by not picking him. Number three, Mohammad Siraj would be there, of course. Harshit Rana would be there. Harshit Rana is now the new kid on the block. So Harshit Rana would be there. And I would like to see Anshul Kamboj any day of the week over someone like Prashit Krishna. Because Prashit Krishna, I don't read into what he has been doing in this IPL, or what he has been get the wickets he has been getting for Gujarat Titans. Test cricket is a completely different ball game that separates the men from the boys. And as far as I'm concerned, Prashit Krishna doesn't have the temperament to play Test cricket. We saw that in South Africa. We saw that in Australia. So that is my pace attack. In terms of batting, KL Rahul.
No, wait. Let me go to the other guest, and I'll come to you for batting. The Anshul Kamboj point, Shubhan, is very well taken. I mean, if you take the Ranji Trophy for example, and both of us have been talking about this, even when he played here in Kolkata, I mean, he gets the ball to move from ball one, and has been quite stellar. Has been quite stellar for his state side. Anshul Kamboj makes a point there. But doesn't bowl that pace. I mean, 130 in England, if you can move the ball, yes. So, Shubhan, straight question again. Are you going to pick somebody like a Shardul Thakur, left field, number 8 batter, will give you a couple of wickets, kind of come and break a partnership? Or Nitish Reddy, number 7, Shardul Thakur, number 8? Is that something that you want to consider? And your 3 fast bowlers in Jasprit Bumrah if he's playing, Mohammad Siraj if he's playing, and what about Mohammad Shami? And then definitely Harshit Rana. And is it somebody like an Anshul Kamboj or Prasidh Krishna? I actually think Prasidh Krishna, after what he's done, does merit a place. So I differ with Shomik there. But what is your take on India's pace attack, Shubhain?
I think I would love that combination. If Nitish Reddy and Shardul can be fit together into a playing 11, then that would be a great combination. It would give a couple of bowling options plus your batting depth as well, along with Ravindra Jadeja in that setup. But Shardul, now with Rohit's retirement, I'm not I'm not sure how that will pan out for Shardul. But Anshul Kamboj, I think there has to be a transition. He has to play India A first in England. That 2 4 day games will be his first test. He will definitely go there and play those 2 tests after a good Ranji season. That would be his first challenge. There has to be a ladder. You already have an Akashdeep and a Mukesh Kumar who can be very lethal with their consistency in with the Duke's ball in English conditions. Mukesh Kumar, I feel, can be a very very lethal bowler in English condition. He has been a bit unlucky with the kind of conditions he has gotten so far. In Cape Town, he was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in the Cape Town Test, particularly in the second innings, the way he bowled. But since then, bowling in Indian conditions for any pacer is a tough task. But Mukesh with the Duke's ball can be a very very handful bowler. Akashdeep is there. Prasidh Krishna, definitely he has to be there. I'm not too sure about Harshit Rana and his effectiveness in England with the Duke's ball in longer format. Can he still bowl long spells? He was struggling with his endurance and stamina in Australia whenever he was asked to bowl beyond fifth over mark. So Harshit Rana, of course, he will go. He will go, but I'm not too sure how effective he will be in English conditions. But Prasidh, my pace attack would be Jasprit Bumrah definitely there. I'll take Shami in case Jasprit Bumrah rests. I will play Shami then, not Bumrah and Shami together. I'll save Shami's fuel for whenever Jasprit Bumrah rests up. Siraj is another bowler who will definitely go along with that. I think Akashdeep, Mukesh Kumar, these two bowlers I will take because of their consistency with the length and line and their ability to move the ball. They will be both be lethal with the Duke's ball, and you have your two bowling all rounders in Shardul and Nitish Kumar Reddy with those dibbly dobbly 130 kmph. I think both can be handful fourth, fifth seamer in those conditions.
Okay. I'll give Bharat the last word on this, Gargi. But a number of people, there was a super chat, wo bhi aapko lena hai. And some people asked about Arshdeep Singh. First left-hander, brings the ball in. No reason why he's played Ranji Trophy cricket. No reason why he will not last out and bowl 10, 12 overs. Young man.
Yeah.
It's not as if he's not fit enough. So why are we not? Why? I mean, are we kind of branding Arshdeep Singh as a white ball specialist when we should not? Thoughts?
Yeah, I think that's what's happening here. But when you look at it, Arshdeep Singh adds such armory, or let's say such lethalness to your armory. He's got a left-hander, of course, and then the way that he swings the ball, and he's a very very consistent bowler. If you look at the way that he bowls in red ball cricket, he's a very consistent bowler, and I think that is one of his biggest strengths. Apart from him as well, I think Prasidh Krishna should also be a front runner here, because let's not take what happened at the SCG in the last match of the Border Gavaskar Trophy, but I do believe that he has immense potential, uh, and the lengths that he bowls. Both, I think, if you have a Prasidh Krishna and an Arshdeep Singh in your bowling lineup, apart from a Jasprit Bumrah. And I think Shubhan also makes a great point there, that you take a Shami, and when Bumrah is not bowling, you get Shami in. I think when you look at that pace lineup, it's a very well rounded lineup.
Bharat, the point from here is Prasidh Krishna of Sydney first innings, Prasidh Krishna of Sydney second innings. I thought Sydney first innings when Jasprit Bumrah walked out and India finished Australia 5 for 80, 181 all out. That Prasidh Krishna, that delivery to Steve Smith is the Prasidh Krishna all of us want to see. Second innings, complete lackluster. Sam Constas comes, at him, etc., etc., charges down the track. He loses the plot. So Prasidh Krishna, the Shomik Chakraborty point about temperament. So I want your comment on that. And number two, Arshdeep Singh. Would you want a left armer? He will create spots. Why not? Why is Arshdeep Singh not centerpiece of this debate? Bharat Ramraj.
Yeah, let's get a point to it. Even at his worst, I think Prasidh Krishna is more of a wicket taker than Harshit Rana. That's at present. Harshit Rana has a lot of time on his hands. He's younger because Prasidh is going to be 30 years old. But he's definitely a wicket taker. That's one point I will always say. One of the toughest things to do in cricket at present, in Test cricket at present, is to force Steve Smith to edge one behind with a front on stance. You ask even the best of bowlers, they have all struggled to do that. You always attack him on the inside, and Prasidh Krishna got him edge one behind the first innings that you talked about. So he should be satisfied, man, with how he dismissed Steve Smith, because he doesn't usually get out on the outside edge when he plays with a front on stance, not side on stance. That tells you about his wicket taking potential. I think he's a better wicket taker than Harshit Rana. Yes, he has had control problems. Yes, he had problems with the temperament. But as you noticed in the IPL, he's bowled the heavy ball a lot more than Harshit Rana. Harshit Rana has not been able to bowl that heavy ball that people keep talking about. Maybe that is because of lack of fitness, as Subhain rightly pointed out, that after 5-6 overs, it doesn't really seem to bowl that quick. It seems to lose the plot a little bit. So I think out of the two, Prasidh is, I think, better. That's as of now. Harshit is much younger, so he can definitely learn the trade. And I will definitely take someone like Arshdeep Singh, just because of the fact that when he swings it late. There are certain bowlers. If you look at Deepak Chahar, when he swings it, it seems to move from the arm. But when it comes to Arshdeep Singh, it seems to move late in the air and then off the deck. Maybe Sachin Tendulkar himself once talked about how you shouldn't give telegram to the batter. That is basically is telling the ball should move a little more late in the air, and that is where I think Arshdeep can come into the equation. And Joe Root and Harry Brook have a problem against the left arm angle. That is something that I pointed out in one of the videos put up on Drive Sports. So considering all this, I will take him. Then I think it will come down to one out of Mukesh, Akashdeep, and Anshul Kamboj. A little undecided here, because I feel Akashdeep, one of the problems with him is he doesn't bowl full enough. It is something that is not worked out for him at times. Even in Australia, I felt that he was bowling too much of back of length. He beats the bat about 100 times, but he doesn't get the rewards that he deserves because he doesn't bowl full enough. So if Akashdeep has to go, then I think he needs to bowl it full enough. And I don't want to take three bowlers bowling at around 135, 140, because this baseball team, they love playing medium pacers. So if you fill your team with three bowlers, or even Mukesh Kumar is around 130, 135, Anshul is around 130, 135. So I'm not very sure of taking all three of them against this baseball team. I think one can go out of those three.
Okay. There were a couple of super chats. Can you just quickly take them and we can close the show? Yeah. RP has average of 43 after lean patch. He deserves it. Shomik, you said he's not going to get anything. Without giving it much away, why doesn't he get it? You're on mute. Mute.
अकेले मत बात कीजिए.
I don't think so. Rishabh Pant, Shubman Gill is going to be the captain. As far as the vice captain is concerned, I am not sure who is going to be that. There is a player with huge ambition in this team. You know his name. You know him. You know him, who is very ambitious. And but
You can name him. I don't think there's any issue with naming him.
no, not really. He's a young cricketer on public platform
So
also.
what? If anyone can have captaincy ambitions, what's the harm in it?
No. I mean, you know this at this age of social media, if things don't go well, and he's one of the frontline batsmen. If things don't, and he that would it would be his first England tour. If things don't go well for him,
Now
he
you
would
have given
suggest,
it all away. First
which
England
is
tour.
true. But then again, that is one thing, and maybe they can give vice captaincy to KL Rahul also. That is an option to be to counterbalance Shubman's age and Shubman's youth and relative inexperience as far as captaincy is concerned. To counterbalance that, maybe they can give captaincy to KL Rahul. But I don't see seriously. I don't see Rishabh Pant in the mix.
Okay. This is the last one. Shubhan, quickly take that. Harsh one. Harsh one on Shubman Gill. Critical of Shubman Gill, saying it'll be unfair if he takes up.
No, I don't think. See, we always debate whether this player deserves to be in the squad or not. And whenever you go to the selectors and ask, he's the highest wicket taker, he's the second highest wicket taker, he's the third highest run scorer. Why he's not in the squad? Why are you guys ignoring him? If you generally, if a reporter goes and asks this question, the general answer comes, if cricket, if the team was selected with stats, I think everyone with an Excel sheet could have pick the squad. Pick all the highest run scorers and top wicket takers. You will have your 11, 15-member squad, whatever team you want. That's the general answer which comes from the selectors end. So I think there's bit more criteria on how you pick a player, how you groom him as a captain, how you see whether he's a leader in that team or not. Who could have guessed that MS Dhoni would have become India's captain and the most successful Indian captain of all time? It was Sachin Tendulkar. In the slips, he saw some spark in MS Dhoni. How MS Dhoni was asking him whether we can bowl this bowler or make some field placements here or there. That is where Sachin Tendulkar got, oh, okay, this guy can be a leader or the future captain of the Indian team. And MS Dhoni's record before that was pretty outright mediocre. He was never a great test batsman. He was a great white ball player, but before he became the captain, his stats were pretty mediocre. But then he ended up being the most successful Indian captain, won all the three ICC trophies, was the only captain to do so. So you can never, if things would have picked by stats, then I think each one of us have ESPN Cricket for Stats Guru, Ask Cricket for, everyone has that. We could have easily picked our 15-member squad and see how an Harsh Dubey or an Anshul Kamboj or a Karun Nair does in England. So I think that's not the case. Let's leave. Selectors are there after playing a lot many first class games and Test cricket. They have the experience. Let's back this. Let's back this and see how it goes. After a year or so, we can decide and debate on whether this call was good or not.
I'll end with this. I think Shubhan makes a good point on Karun Nair. I mean, Karun Nair playing the Vijay Hazare Trophy, which no one watches, is a different Karun Nair. Karun Nair playing the IPL after the heat was on him, the 89 that he got was a sublime innings. After that, how many has he scored? Has he been able to absorb the pressure? Maybe not. So when we criticize or when we say rush this guy back in or get this guy back in, it is easy to sit and just make that comment. I mean, the selectors have a tough job. They'll have to pick a squad which will be competitive in England in one of the most difficult series. And by the way, it's early June. You have no idea about early June and late August England. I mean, it's chalk and cheese. It's that different. And by the way, India is playing north, so Manchester is also north. Fourth test is north, which will be raining despite the July heat. Now UK temperatures have added 4 or 5 degrees. In my 25 years of going to that country every summer, I have seen drastic change in temperatures. But northern England will still see some swing, some movement, some rain, and Manchester can have that. So I'm very worried. I mean, early June leads. I don't see a spin bowler even having a chance there. I see India will have to go in with at least a Nitish Reddy or Shardul Thakur. That is why I'm advocating it. Leeds, 20th June, movement, all kinds of things will happen. London, see, Birmingham is supposed to be a relative batting deck. London, it will start with swing and then move to spin. That's what Lords will see. Oval will be similar. But England will be varied conditions and it will challenge us. It will challenge anyone. I mean, so don't just pick on Shubman Gill. We have to also see how Virat Kohli does. Virat Kohli was as bad in Australia as many others. Can he pick up his form? Will he go and play the India A games? Will he do some extra training, get into test match cricket groove? He's batting like a dream in the IPL. Can he take some of this confidence into red ball cricket? Can he stop edging behind the stumps? Because which is part of his muscle memory now. In Australia, Scott Boland worked him out like anything. Can he kind of do the job? A lot will ride on that particular series. So Rohit Sharma, by giving it up, he's not there, but he's opened up a complete can of worms. I mean, he was the number one public target, right? Now Rohit Sharma is not there. Let's see who you make your public target and start hammering, because this Indian side will be watched by the world as the England series starts. Bharat Ramraj, Shomik Chakraborty, Shubhan Chakraborty, Gargi Rao, to everyone watching. Love to take more questions, but we've already done a 45-minute show. Maybe tomorrow. Thank you very much for watching.